posted by you/throwing. Hello Reddit, this is really awkward and embarrassing to share, but I can't think of anywhere else to get advice. I, 23F, have been dating my boyfriend, James, 25M, for just over a year. We have a really good relationship and are good at communicating any issues that arise. I am very much in love with him, and we are happy. Now, maybe he's very comfortable with me, which I know is a good thing, but I'm very frustrated, and I don't know if it's just me. This is the only issue I have with him. He's just constantly farting and burping, and it's starting to really gross me out. It feels stupid to even type that, but it's really become excessive. We are both out of school and working full-time. We don't live together yet, but he is starting to move into my apartment. This started about 5 months into our relationship, and it has gotten progressively worse. He will burp constantly and blow it into my face, to the point where I will start dry heaving because he thinks it's funny. He does the same thing with farting, always trying to do it on me because he finds it hilarious. I know it's normal, I grew up with 4 brothers, but he is constantly forcing it to happen. This is not just once or twice. We've spent almost every night together over the past 6 months, and it happens all night. All night. I have asked him to please stop because I find it really gross, especially the burping since he does it in my face, and it turns my stomach. He apologizes but still continues to do it. He'll even lean in for a kiss and burp in my face instead, then laugh himself to the point of tears when I act disgusted. At first, I thought maybe he was just really gassy and I should be more understanding because it's a natural bodily function. But he does not act like this when we're out to dinner or with friends. A few months ago, we went to a wedding with some of his family members, and he accidentally burped really loudly like he normally does when he's alone with me. Our table went silent and glared at him. I didn't want him to feel embarrassed, so I high-fived him and said, "Good one." The whole table started laughing and cheering. Afterward, he pulled me aside and said he was thankful I did that because he felt humiliated, but I broke the ice. I was a bit drunk and frustrated, so I asked him why he does it to me constantly but wouldn't do it in front of others. His reasoning was that I am his girlfriend, and he should be able to play around with me like that. He said I was being a typical girl for finding it rude, uptight, and high maintenance. I didn't want to argue, so I told him I was none of those things. He knew it, and we'd talk later when we were sober. I just wanted to enjoy the party. And we did. But nothing has changed. I've tried to make plans to be out of the house when we see each other because, even though it seems ridiculous, it's starting to stress me out. I can't talk to any of my friends about it because they think it's so funny. He is a very sweet guy, and I like spending time with him, but I feel nauseous when we're alone together because it's just so gross. He's also starting to work longer shifts, so he wants to stay in most nights to relax. He's even started doing it during bedroom intimacy, as a joke, and our bedroom life has really suffered because of it. A few nights ago, he was texting me before he got off work, complaining about his day and seeming really stressed out. I told him I'd come over, make his favorite meal, and help him forget about it. I went over to his house and started cooking while he finished work. After dinner, he leaned in to kiss me, and I turned my head because I'm so used to him burping in my face. We ended up arguing because he accused me of cheating, since we haven't been having bedroom intimacy. I told him it was because of the burping, and he said I needed to get over it, that he was only joking, and I was being such a prude. He insisted his girlfriend shouldn't reject a kiss from him, and so on. I told him I've been saying this is a problem for a while, that I don't think it's funny at all, and I have even thrown up because of it. He started laughing as I said that. I just lost it. I don't usually yell at people, I'm calm and collected, so I think I scared him a bit. I told him it was disgusting and I'm getting to the point where I'm no longer attracted to him. I've been trying so hard to be understanding, but it's a two-way street. It wasn't about something being gross or funny anymore, it was about respect. He got defensive, trying to claim I was overreacting and being ridiculous, but I shut it down. He eventually apologized, saying he didn't realize I felt so strongly about it and would try not to do it anymore. I don't care that it happens, I only care that he forces it, etc. After talking it out, for the next couple of hours, he actually didn't burp in my face or fart on me. I was so happy I could finally enjoy cuddling with my boyfriend without feeling like I was going to vomit. So I started initiating bedroom intimacy to help him forget about his bad day. You already know where this is going. It's humiliating, but I'm going to type it out anyway. As I was trying to go down on him, he pushed my head down so I couldn't get away, tensed up, and started farting loudly while laughing. I was so frustrated I immediately started crying. I think he realized he did something wrong because he let go of my head, tried to hold me, and kept saying, "I'm sorry, I thought you meant to do it less." I thought it would be funny to break the tension from before. But I got up and left his apartment. That was 2 days ago. He has been calling and texting me constantly. I haven't responded. His messages range from being very apologetic to very angry, back and forth. I don't know what to do. I feel like this relationship is over, but I still love him. I also feel really gross and violated in a way. Our mutual friends have been texting me to ask if everything is okay, and I've tried explaining the situation to my best friend, but he found it hilarious. I'm afraid to explain it to anyone else. This is just so stupid. I literally feel like I'm crazy, maybe I'm uptight, etc. I also have a lot of his stuff here, and I'm worried he'll come back to get it, and I'll have to face him. What should I do? Am I just overreacting? Update 1 day later. Thank you to everyone who replied to my original post, and also to those who PM'd me. I wasn't really expecting so much support, but I'm glad I'm not alone. Last night, I was pretty miserable and just felt confused and sick about the whole thing. Reading what everyone had written really helped me process what I was feeling and rationalize everything. I just want to clear a few things up before I get into how this has escalated for me. My boyfriend did not start out doing this constantly. I remember the first time he did it, I was confused and calmly told him right away that I did not like it, and he seemed to understand. I have never laughed when he did it on purpose. I know the difference between an accident and what he does. A lot of the replies helped me examine my relationship as a whole. We have had other problems that seem to follow the same pattern. He had the same behavior with driving very fast for fun, and he also had a similar issue with playfully pinching and tickling me, but he was doing it so hard that it left bruises. I always expressed that I did not like this, but he insisted that I was overreacting. When I showed him that he was actually hurting me, he stopped completely and never did it again. I didn't think it was important to bring up. I know a lot of people suggested that I do the same thing to him or retaliate in the same way. It might sound nice to entertain that fantasy, but I'm really not like that. I will never let someone else's actions define who I am as a person. I know I will never intentionally hurt someone, and that makes me have faith in myself. A few of you made me cry because, before I wrote my post, I felt completely unsupported and alone and, well, really ridiculous and dumb. So thank you very much for taking the time to help me, even though I'm a stranger and none of you owe me anything, let alone your time and kindness. Now on to today. I have not replied to any of James's messages. I blocked him on all devices. I feel like I basically told him it was over, and he knew that. I messaged a few of our mutual friends back, saying that I would really appreciate it if they would just drop it, that everything is okay with me, but the relationship is over. A post said I didn't have to explain the situation completely, so I did that. They seemed very understanding, except one who replied, saying, over a one-time incident? Get real lol, but whatever so long as you're happy. It didn't really bother me because I know the truth. It was hurtful that James may have lied, but I'd rather surround myself with people who value honesty. I also invited my best friend over and asked him if he could help me box all of James's belongings, to which he agreed right away. He kept asking me what happened and if I was okay, so I showed him this post, and he was disgusted. He apologized for laughing when I had tried to tell him earlier because he said he didn't know it was so serious. He offered to take James's belongings to him, but I made him promise not to be hostile, or I'd ask someone else. He agreed. We spent a lot of the day in my apartment when the front door opened. It's hard for me to articulate myself, but I'll try to type it exactly as it happened. We both heard it and stopped talking immediately. It was James. I'm not going to lie, I was immediately frightened. Maybe I could have handled it better, but I kind of just stood there. I just didn't expect to see him. He has never shown up at my home or work without warning. My friend asked him, "What the F do you think you're doing here?" James kept staring at me and ignored him, saying, "I thought you were dead or something. Why have you been ignoring me?" My friend stepped in front of him, handed him one of the boxes, and told him he could take his stuff and leave, that it was over and I didn't want to talk to him. James laughed, made a move towards me, and said I needed to talk to him alone, but my friend moved in front of him again and told him that he shouldn't be in my house uninvited, that it was illegal and he was going to call the police. Then James got really mad, twisted his face all weird, and I can't explain it, but he started yelling, and it was like he wasn't the same person at all. He called me a SLT and a CNT and said that I was some ridiculous princess, and he just kept going. My friend said, "That's nice. Now you need to leave, or I'm gonna make you." Then James threw down his box and punched my friend in the face. I don't remember exactly what happened, but my friend fell back and James came up to me and grabbed me. He started shaking me, saying I was stupid for throwing this all away and that I was probably sleeping with my friend. I was very afraid, and I couldn't believe this was happening. My friend got up, grabbed him by the back of his shirt, threw him off me, and shoved him out of my apartment. James ran away down the hall, kicking people's doors and screaming. My neighbor had come out of his apartment and asked what was going on. I told him to call an ambulance because my friend was bleeding from his nose. I was so embarrassed. At the hospital, I kept embarrassing myself by crying and apologizing to my friend while we were in the waiting room. His nose is broken, he keeps making Owen Wilson jokes/impressions, but he is okay. I'm at my friend's house for now because I am afraid to go home. He said I can stay with him for as long as I need to. I feel really awful that my friend got his nose broken because I was a bad judge of character. I also feel really guilty that I got so scared I just kind of stood there and let my friend get hurt. My friend is taking me to the police station to file a report, but I just want this whole thing to be over. He is insistent because I need to do this to ensure my safety. This is my first relationship, and I don't even know if this person was real. How do people hide that kind of anger for over a year? I didn't think something like this could even happen. I don't understand what I missed. I feel ashamed even writing all of this because it started from something so small and juvenile, so I don't know if I'm just handling it weird or if my head is blowing it completely out of proportion.